Good night, everyone, and welcome to Speak to Inspire. This evening, your host is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Corin Thomas, our program quality director, and yours truly, Toastmaster Tyree Thomas, also Division E director. And today we'll be speaking about mentoring. Are you mentoring or are you managing? And this evening, our program quality director has decided to touch the topic of mentoring. So, distinguished Toastmaster Corin, I'll now turn the lecture over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tyreek. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters. Our founder, Dr. Ralph Smedley, said, "We realize that the two most important factors in Toastmasters is mentoring and evaluations. There is no doubt that if these two are done well and there is a good mentoring program, your club will be filled with spark plugs ready to fire upon request. Mentoring and evaluations create enthusiasm, and once you light that fire, the only thing it needs is some kindling. This evening, we are going to discuss the first part of that equation, mentorship. I look forward to hearing our audience share their experiences on mentorship, the good and perhaps the not so good experiences that they've had and how it has impacted them. So the first question is, do we really need mentors?
Yes, we do.
Do we really need mentors?
We didn't hear that properly. What you said, Ethan Corin?
I said, do we need mentors? Or is it
Oh,
okay to
yes.
go it alone?
No, because a mentor is there to guide you, they're there to lead you and tell you how to go about doing things. Of course, you need a mentor. It is not a if, but or maybe. Even as a leader, you need somebody that could guide you, somebody that has been there before. And if you're not a leader that can accept mentorship, then what are you really?
Yes, thank you. What are you really? And I find at all stages of life, mentorship is important. In Toastmasters, out of Toastmasters. Sometimes people have shaped us, and it's years after we realize that what they were doing was mentoring us. Did
Mhm.
you have a favorite teacher who was your go to? Did you have perhaps a relative that was always there with sage advice? That was your mentor. I had a great aunt that a lot of people, that's even in the family, thought she was very strict, very miserable. She was. But when you were one of her favorites, the things, and I'm not talking about spoiling because she was a disciplinarian, but there's so
Mhm.
many things that she taught me that still influence me. And as a young preteen, I didn't know anything about mentorship. I didn't know that she was mentoring me. It's probably after I joined Toastmasters and was looking at that project in Pathways, and I look back at what she was doing, I realized that she was mentoring me. She taught me to bake, she
Mhm.
taught me to cook, all kinds of things. She taught me standards. That's a mentor. That is a mentor. And one of the things I want to do is look at some of the qualities of a mentor. And why is it important to mentor? A mentor is someone who should take a personal interest and help a protege. They must be available. They must serve as a role model, coach, and confidant, offering knowledge, insight, perspective, and wisdom. A mentor must also be respectful, encouraging, should be your chief cheerleader, helping you to know what you can do,
Hmm?
helping you to find ways to achieve, helping you to see what you don't see in yourself. Sometimes a mentor is someone that has to give you a push. Sometimes it's tough love. I remember my first mentor in Toastmasters, the late distinguished Toastmaster Norma Rochester. I think it must have been about 6 months before I did my icebreaker. And after making many excuses, one day she just looked at me and she said, Corinne, you're doing your icebreaker next week.
Yeah.
And I had to say, okay, distinguished, okay, Norma. Because that's what I needed.
Mhm.
Because you must have that relationship that your mentor is able to know you, understand you, and see what you need. When you need to be gently coaxed, when you need, as I said, tough love. Terry, share an
Yes, ma'am.
example, please, for our audience of a mentor experience that you've had.
So my mentor experience, and like I said, this is a wonderful mentor. I had the pleasure of our immediate past district director, that's distinguished Toastmaster Elka Price. She was my mentor, and I remember last year before last, when I was a club president, only one person showed up to meeting, so I was like, I'm gonna cancel the meeting. And after I was about to do that, DT Melka said to me, we had the meeting. She said, no, go forward with the meeting. We had the meeting, we did everything. After the meeting, she said to me, Toastmaster Tyreek, it could be one person. Still have your meeting. Persons are going to join you. And I went forward with that in my mind that, yes, this is what is happening. And I can tell you, for today, I still repeat the same thing to others. I said, my mentor always said this to me. It could be just you and one person. Have your meeting. Somebody is going to join. Members will join. And evidently, members did join. So it is always good to have a mentor there to tell you, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do. I even can speak about experience when I decided to go for the division director role in District 81. I had my informal mentor, which is distinguished Toastmaster Corin Thomas, said to me, yeah, man, you can do it. Go for the role. And I'm telling you, on the day of election, something went wrong. And for some strange reason, Division East election, like it wasn't coming, the votes weren't coming, and I was anxious. I was like, no, these people are stirring up the thing, man. And then I was, to my surprise, I became division director. I felt my insides jump, and everybody. that I thought weren't the everybody that I thought were just, everybody came and said, congratulations. If you need support, I'm here. Those are the kind of mentors or persons you want to impact in you. They're coming to say, I'm there for help. I'm there if you want. These are the type of people you want around you because they're there to support you. They're there to give you that love that you need as a Toastmaster to understand I'm not just here for me alone, but I'm here to support you in the long run as a Toastmaster.
Thank you for that. That is so true. Yes. Before I go any further, one of the things that we need to distinguish and differentiate is the difference between mentorship and coaching because they're not the same thing. Coaching tends to be a short term relationship. It's usually task oriented, advising on a particular skill. A coach's goal is to help an individual work on specific skills during a designated period of time, whereas mentorship is more long term. So it builds a long term relationship to support an individual as he or she grows and works towards larger life goals over a long period of time. So a mentor may coach someone in particular skills, but they may also identify where they might need a coach for some things. An example, you've entered the speech contest. Your mentor encouraged you, yes, go for it, and you've entered the speech contest. But you might get a coach
Mhm.
to work on your delivery, to work on your speech writing skills while you, to hone those skills while you prepare for that contest. Our topic this evening is mentor or manager. And it's important to discuss what a mentor is not or should not be.
Mhm.
A mentor should, as the Toastmasters club mission says, we need to empower. And that's what a mentor should do. So that means
Mhm.
that you're not going to do it for your protege. I've seen experiences where protege seems to think that the mentor should write their speech for them. That's not their job. Looking at your speech, advising on your delivery. That's the mentor's job, not writing your speech. Because then how is growth going to be achieved if that's what they're going to do for you? As a parent, our aim is to develop strong, independent children. So too should be the mentor's aim to perhaps have your protege reach to the point where they might not need you. Some mentorship relationships will last the longer than others. Some mentorship relationships evolve into friendships. It's not necessarily meant to be finite, though. And we also should, it's a two-way street. So, in the same way that you, as a mentor, are sharing your skills and experiences, the protege does bring things to the relationship because they have experiences outside of Toastmasters. They're bringing knowledge, they're bringing experience. And very often you will find that they teach you things too. I
Yep,
remember
that's so true.
I remember one afternoon I evaluated a member in my club. And let's just say I didn't use the sandwich technique. It wasn't a new member, to someone who was almost a distinguished Toastmaster.
Oh my.
And one of my mentees, after the meeting, WhatsApped me and said to me, "Boy, Corinne, that sandwich had a very big filling." I understood exactly what he meant. And he wasn't wrong. He
Hmm.
wasn't wrong. Because we all need to be caught up at times. Yes, it was somebody who could take it, but the fact is that I needed to be brought up as well. And just to get that wake up call. And that's the
Hmm.
relationship that we want. That's, I must be able to receive it. If I'm giving it, there must be enough trust that my protege, my mentee, can feel that they can come to me and say, this wasn't up to standard. Who would like to share? Who in our audience would like to share a mentorship experience or to ask a question?
Questions are there, everyone. So you can definitely ask a question. I see Christine Stapleton. Oh, Greta Yearwood is watching. And we have quite a few persons watching. Does anyone has a question they would like to ask? We don't bite. But DTM Current, I have a question though.
Yes.
If a Toastmaster has a mentor, okay, has been assigned a mentor when they started the Toastmasters journey, and that mentor has never shown up for them, that mentor has never paid interest in them, what would be your suggestion to that Toastmasters? Is it to change the mentor, or is it that they should get somebody who they think would be a better fit for them?
Okay. If the mentorship program in the club is working properly, it means that it is being monitored. It can be monitored by the Vice President Education, or there are actually some clubs that appoint someone to oversee mentorship, the mentorship program in the club. And you having appointed the mentor and the mentee, you can't leave it there. You have to make sure that that relationship is working, that the gel is gelling. So there should be regular check-ins, and then you would know that it's not happening. And yes, you need to have a conversation and find out what's happening. It might be something simple and you can get them to connect. It might just be that the synergy is not there and you need to change and appoint a new mentor. Because especially if
But
it's a
what if,
new, yes, go ahead.
hmm, but what if, for instance, you get a new mentor? That new mentor that you've gotten now, the synergy is not there. Uh, what if you don't, for instance, feel like, okay, or could you ask, could I pick who could be my mentor? instead of them picking it, or can you go out and find your own mentor for yourself?
Certainly. There's no reason why you can't. And along the way, you may pick up other mentors. So it's quite acceptable, even with your official mentor. You might find someone that you ask to mentor you as well. And that's
Mhm.
acceptable. And remember, mentors, we shouldn't just be mentoring people to do their pathway speeches. I believe very strongly that if I'm mentoring someone, I'm mentoring someone. I had an experience a few years ago that we had a young lady in the club, and in getting to know her, I realized that there were things that I had to help her to work through before I could pester her about speeches, because that's not where her headspace was. And you have to have the sensitivity to get that trust so that they're willing to share see
Mhm.
whether it is that you need to pull, you need to give push, or you need to pull back and give them space. Sometimes you have to leave your mentee alone.
Mhm.
I have I have one in right now in one of my clubs that she's been a member for going probably at least 3 to 4 years. And sometimes we don't see her and we don't hear from her. And there are times when she doesn't answer me.
Oh,
And
there's a question here.
do you
Hmm.
have to accept a mentor that is assigned to you in your club? I I'm going to say yes and no. Here's why I'm saying yes. You come into the club, you're new, and a mentor has been assigned. Now, probably you don't know that person. So maybe because, but then you might not know anybody in the club. It can be that you just look at this person and you feel that we're not going to gel.
Mhm.
Try to have a conversation, or or let's face it, you may have seen how that person interacts and realize this, I don't want this mentor. And it's okay to say to the
Mhm.
VP, I would like, can you give me someone else? But it may also be that because you don't know the person much about the person, you might want to give it a chance first before you make that decision. Do you think mentorship
Well,
should be formal or informal? Please expand on that.
so the person sent me the question if I think mentorship should be formal or informal in Toastmasters. So I don't know who is honest, and that's what I'm trying to
Okay.
understand what they mean by that.
And I'm going to say both. And here's why I'm going to say both.
Yeah.
A club needs to have a mentorship program, must have a mentorship program. In fact, I feel so strongly about that, that one of the things as PQD that I'm going to do is have someone, we're going to be working on mentorship this year because I fully believe that we need to strengthen it. Some clubs have it down pat, and there are others where I don't think it's working as well. Toastmasters International strongly encourages us to have a mentorship program to the point where they tell us how to establish a mentorship program. And we say that every member, every new member is appointed a mentor. So that's formal because it means that when, and in my club, usually by the time we have, by the time someone has been visiting and paid, we have identified the mentors. So there's very little delay when they actually come on stream. Right now, we have about 5 persons who will join on August 1. I've already identified the mentors. You need to inform them early. You need to, both of them, you need to introduce them. We should have a formal induction ceremony because it helps the new member to feel integrated into the club. And it might also be necessary to have a session with especially if you have quite a few people coming in at one time, have a little ed feature, or it doesn't have to be within the club meeting. Have a session and tell them about what is expected of both. I haven't even gone into the expectations of what is the protege should do yet, but I will. So all of that is the formal mentorship program. But remember, I said that you can see someone and ask them if they will mentor you. That's informal. You can ask several people because you see something about that person and you would like to benefit from their knowledge. There's something about them that you feel you would benefit from. And before I answer the question that is on the screen, I didn't finish the point out. You're only mentoring them to do the speeches. We're a leadership and communication organization. Many people come into Toastmasters for the communication. They don't think about the leadership. They don't think about the leadership opportunities. A lot of times, they don't see their own leadership potential. So we as mentors also need to steer them in that way too. Especially when it's someone who might have just left college or so on. They haven't got any leadership experience. So we need to help and encourage them to join a committee, take on projects, consider being an officer. So they have that leadership experience that they can then possibly take into the workplace, put it on their resume, and that might be the stepping stone for a promotion or a leadership opportunity at work. I also believe that a lot of the challenges that we have with finding officers and finding people to serve beyond the club is because we are not mentoring people properly.
That's true.
And of course, you're taking on a new leadership role. Be mentored. Identify a mentor. I have several mentors, even after 20 years in Toastmasters and so many different roles. I've never been PQD before. I've never been CGD before. I have people who are mentoring and guiding me because I don't know everything. Even if you've done a role 10 times, The 11th time, you may still need a mentor because there's some things that are going to be different. So now to the question. How do you know when a mentorship relationship has run its course? Very often you can tell when you feel that, because there are just going to be times when you feel that this is all you can get from that relationship. You have, it's time to move on. You appreciate the knowledge and the experience that you gain from that mentor, but it's time to move on. And yes, you don't have to continue you being a mentor after 6 months. You, it depends on the relationship. It depends on where the person is. It depends on if you're both benefiting from the relationship. And if you still, there's still something that you can impart to that person.
But so DTM Current, I have a question to ask. So I'll put in our mentee, our protege mentor relationship on the line. I remember when I first met you that you weren't my mentor yet. I can't remember how I met you, but from the end then it's what 4 years now I've been in Toastmaster. And in my 4 years, 3 years, I can say DTM Curry has been my informal mentor for the past 3 years. And what she has taught me that my formal mentors haven't taught me is that always clarify anything that you do. There's nothing wrong with asking answers. And she will tell you, I ask questions, sorry. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, and I ask questions to everything. Because when I'm not clear, there's a purpose why you have a mentor there. And a lot of people will say, oh, but my mentor, she only helps me with speeches and but no, your mentor can help with personal goals, personal life goals. I just got a new protege the other day, and my first question I asked her last night, what is your personal goal? She said to me, why you ask that? I said because I have to make sure that I am meeting the personal goal of why you joined Toastmasters. So joining Toastmasters has nothing to do with becoming a public speaker. You have to do something with your personal goal. And she said to me, I want to be able to better speak or become a better speaker when I'm in the courtroom. And I was surprised that I am mentoring a lawyer now. So there's something that could happen.
Precisely. Precisely. You need to know what is the, and when you know what is the person's goal, their overall aspirations, even if it's for the next year, break it down. You're better able to guide them even into the projects that they should do in pathways, into the roles that they should take on, and how they should apply what they're doing in Toastmasters. That's the point when I say you need to mentor the whole person. And I believe too that when you have an inkling on what someone wants to do, you're better able to show them the relevance. So they're more likely to be able to find topics for speeches. They're more likely to be energized and eager to do things because then they've put Toastmasters and pathways in context. They're no longer doing a speech because the club needs a point. They're doing it to empower themselves, which is what we're here for. And in so doing, It's a win-win. Good mentorship is a win-win-win. It's a win for the mentee, now calls them protege.
Ooh, there's a big
Because
question here.
are you able to tell us about the various resources that are associated with the mentorship program? Are we talking about the Pathways Mentorship Program or generally mentorship?
I think maybe she think pathway, this distinguished
Yes, I
Toastmaster
don't worry, I'm
mentorship.
getting there. I'm getting there. So as a protege, you are learning and you're growing. As a mentor, you're getting something from the relationship too. Because you are, suppose you don't want to make any more speeches. You got your DTM and you don't feel fired up to do others. But you have all these skills that you developed along the way to distinguish Toastmaster. Being a mentor is an opportunity to share your skills and knowledge and keep fresh and be motivated. It's a reason to come to meetings. So that's two of them. And the third one is the club benefits because members are motivated. It makes for a livelier club. It means that when visitors come, they are seeing the best of your club. So let's talk about the Pathways Mentor Program, which I think is an excellent program. And I believe that every Toastmaster should consider doing that program. I will go further. I would like to see, and I believe I'm going to implement it in the club that I am VPE this year. And any mentors that I appoint either have to have finished the program or be working in the program. When I did the Pathways Mentor Program, I had been in Toastmasters at least, when did Pathways start? More than about 5 years ago. So that means I was probably a Toastmaster for 15 years, thereabouts, give or take a few. And I had mentored many
Mm,
people. But this program makes you look at you and what you're bringing to the table. The first thing you have to do is to assess yourself. As with every, oh, let me back up. The Pathways Mentor Program is actually a path, and it's a free path. You're not paying. But the way it is structured, it is actually a path. So the opening part of the path, you won't observe that you do in level 1 because you start after you've completed level 2 in a path that you're in.
mhm.
So introduction to Toastmasters mentorship is the first part of that path. And what does that ask you to do? Look back to a time when you were a protege and speak about it. After that, you sign up for the program, and the first thing that you have to do
Mhm.
is do an assessment. You are going to assess yourself. What are the skills that you are bringing to the table as a mentor? That's food for thought, or it should be if you're doing it properly, if you're being honest and introspective. Because you've got to ask yourself, what benefit am I as a mentor? So that's the first. So you've done introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. You do the self-assessment. And then the first thing that you, and then the next thing is that you are assigned as a, you have a short-term assignment as a mentor
Mhm.
to mentor
Mm.
someone for, I think it's 3 speeches or 3 projects. And you have to do a speech, a 5 to 7 minute speech, when you have finished that, about that experience. Now, I will soon answer that question. After you've done that, you're then appointed for 6 months. That's at the advanced mentoring program. And after you have finished that assignment, you again do a speech to speak about the program. Once you have done that and completed a path, then you would be awarded the Pathways Mentor designation. So, do you all see the value? Because, as I said, it helps you look at pathway, it helps you look at mentorship in a different way. And it has tools. There are a lot of tools that you have. So, there's a mentor self assessment. The protege has to also assess themselves. There's a tracking log where you log your communication and you both agree on how often you're going to communicate, what's your style of communication. And when you're finished, there's an evaluation that you both need to do, that you both do. So to answer the question, at this point, I don't know if it will ever change, but so far, it will not contribute to your club's education goals. It contributes to your personal goals. So you actually it can be included in Triple Crown. So you could actually do 2 levels and the Pathway Mentor program and that would be your Triple Crown.
Mm.
I hope that answered your question. Yeah. Now we looked at some of the traits and requirements for mentors. What are some of the things that the protege needs to do?
Well, one thing I can say, the protege needs to also support the mentor, be willing to learn, and be willing to give feedback as much as accepting, create constructive criticism. And I realize a lot of Toastmasters and a lot of persons in general do not like when you evaluate them on something or say, I believe you should have done it this way instead of that way. And you're guiding them. So you're first, you have to give your mentor support as much as your mentor is giving you support. Form this relationship or bond between you and your mentor. Be able to can receive and give back creative and constructive evaluation and criticism. That's
Thank you
just my
so
two cents.
much. Eric. I so agree. And the main thing, you have to be willing to be available. You have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to do the work.
Mhm.
I have had, I've been appointed a mentor, and I've had to step away because I'm sorry. If I contact you two, three, four times and you don't respond to me, I think you're sending me a message.
Mhm.
And it's happened to me at least twice in, thank God, not in my club, not in my home club, but I've been asked to mentor outside of clubs, outside of my home club. And I've
Mhm.
had the experience where the VPE sends me the information, tells me that the person will reach out. I don't usually wait. As long as I have the contact, I reach out, I introduce myself. And if I try
Mhm.
2, 3 times, 2, 3 methods, and I don't get a response, then I will usually go back to the VPE and say, well, hey, this is the situation. And then we see what happens. But sometimes you just have to step away because for whatever reason, whether they don't really think they need a mentor, or they haven't got the time, or I don't know, maybe they're just not at that place yet. So I see a message, determine the terms of interaction, but you haven't even reached to determine the terms of interaction because they're not communicating with you. So you can't even determine that.
That's true.
You're not you haven't even had that initial conversation. I've also had experience. I have one right now that, oh, I started to tell you and I got sidetracked. So I have a member in the club who has been there for about maybe about 3, 4 years. And very
Mhm.
often she doesn't respond to me, or she will respond on, oh yes, DT, I'm Corinne. I'm going to do X and I'm going to do Y. But she's renewing. Sometimes she's not coming to meetings, but she's renewing. But we've had conversations. At one time, I said to one of my other mentees, it looks like you need to take her on because she responds to you.
Mm.
And eventually, we got her to do our icebreaker. And then she went silent. And it got to the point where I thought, but why are we encouraging her to renew? And that sounds bad, but there comes a point where you just have to leave them.
Mhm.
And the treasurer felt the same way too. And we were shocked without any prompting. She renewed. And I have a group for the mentees that I have in my club.
Mhm.
And I post things, and all of a sudden one day when I posted, I saw she wrote me, DTM Corinne, I'm ready. I'm ready now.
Wow.
And we had a conversation. Matter of fact, she chased me because we set a time, something happened, and she followed me back up.
Mhm.
So sometimes you just have to, and again, sometimes you just have to leave them because the time is not right. But it's a delicate balance. But then we had a conversation, and I realized that there were things, that humps that she had to get over, and two, things that she's doing now has helped to motivate her to move along. So sometimes it's the timing. But if we're not having that conversation and we're just talking to them about, oh, this is level one, this is level two, this is what you have to do, you're not going to have that trust. You're not going to have that relationship to
Mm.
know what's happening when you need to let them, when you need to give them that push, when you need to leave them alone. And you can
But
reach out apart from about speeches.
ooh.
And one of the
But you
other
can.
things that we need to do as mentors is encourage.
Mhm.
Yes, so
One of
you
the
had a
questions I was
question?
going to quick. Yeah, quick question. I remember when I first joined Toastmasters, I was given a mentor, and this is some personal experience. And the mentor seemed like she was disinterested in meeting me. I reached out to her, I called her, I went back to the club executive. The president then said to me, I spoke to the VP, and the president contacted me. Oh, I heard you want to change your mentor. I said yes because the mentor has never reached out to me. I've called her, you know, then it was unanimously made that they're going to give me another mentor. The other mentor called me, and every time I had a speech through, she checked in. She said, let's practice your speech together. I find that sometimes it's not always the mentees the problem, you know. Sometimes it's the mentor. Some of
It
them
is.
they lack communication.
Yes, it is. It is. It different. There are different situations, and that's why the VPE needs to be on top of it. Or, as I said, have if you have a committee, appoint someone from your committee. You don't have to do it all yourself. Appoint someone from the committee who's going to oversee mentorship. But either way, you need to know what's going on and you need to have check ins. And another thing that helps to build camaraderie with your mentee,
Mhm.
encourage them to interclub with you, encourage them to attend social events if when the club is having socials, encourage them to go to the area contest, go to the division contest, so that it helps them to network when the division is having events. Encourage them to go, especially if it's face to face, so they get to network. But even if it's online, they still will get to know people and feel better able, more integrated into the Toastmasters body. Do we have any other questions or comments? Well, since we don't have any more questions at the moment, I just want to reiterate being a mentor can be very, very fulfilling. It is something that can give you a great deal of satisfaction. It can give you a great deal of enjoyment. It can build friendships. It's a wonderful feeling to see someone that who came in to Toastmasters shy, diffident, hesitant, and to see them blossom and to know that you have helped them on their journey.
Mhm.
We need to help them to stand on their own feet. We need to help them to build confidence and be more self-assured. Sometimes you have to hold their hand, especially as a new Toastmaster. But just like with babies, you can't hold their hand all the time.
Mhm. Oh, there's one
You,
here. There's a there's a question here. Sorry.
AD Michelle, I agree and I disagree. And I believe that it is part of the mentor's job in the early days as you meet with the Toastmaster, the fledgling Toastmaster, to help them to see how Toastmasters can help them in various aspects of their lives. But after that, it is up to them. That old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. It is true. Toastmasters is a self-paced program. What you put in is what you're going to get out. As a mentor, as a club, it is our responsibility to ensure that the tools are there, that they're aware of the tools. After that, then it's up to the Toastmaster.
There's
And
another comment.
Toastmaster Jarvis, I agree with you to 200%.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is why, that's one of the reasons why I have more than one DTM designation. When I was approaching the first one, I was very confident that I was getting that thing once, and then I was resting on my laurels and I was doing nothing. And then I realized two things. Well, gee, I hadn't arrived yet, and I'm still evolving and still growing. And two,
Mhm.
I felt it better when I could say to my proteges, and I still do, I challenge us. Let's do a level. Every one of us, our challenge is to get one level this year, at least. And I think that when we're working together, apart from enjoying the journey and knowing the program, then it's not do as I say, not as I do. We're working together and we're growing together. And sometimes we're teaching each other. Because if you're on one path and they're on another, very often, as I said, it's a symbiotic relationship and you each are learning because everybody, even a new brand just minted Toastmaster, they're bringing knowledge and skills to the equation
Mhm.
because they didn't come out of the egg just when they joined Toastmasters. So they have knowledge that can help you, and you have knowledge to impart, and that's why there must be mutual respect and understanding. But one of the first things that we must do is have that conversation with with our new mentee. As Tariq said, why did you join Toastmasters? What do you hope to get from joining Toastmasters? What are some of the goals that you have for yourself outside of Toastmasters? What do you do? What are your career plans? If you don't know or start to know, because one conversation can't give you that. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
start to build that rapport and that relationship, how are you going to get them to see what is the benefit for them? If you can't say, Toastmasters did this for me, Toastmasters did that for me, so that they see in you the growth and development, how are they going to respect what you're telling them? And they can't see
Mm-hmm.
because you don't even know what are the paths, and you're not even sure what are all of the requirements. And I'm not saying you have to know everything, but at least know where to
Mm-hmm.
find it or know who to go to if you don't know. I don't know everything about pathways. I was a pathways ambassador and I don't know everything about pathways, but I'm going to make the effort to find out. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to research, and I'm going to come back. You must be reliable. All of those are important in the mentorship relationship. So, yes, you have to know the why.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? I do believe we've exceeded our time.
All right. Yes, we have. And let here we go. The question. This is one. Now this is our last question. Look, why do you join Toastmasters? May not always apply because sometimes you ask them to join. How do you encourage them? I can give an answer for that. What I've always said to persons is this: do you have a managerial role, or are you afraid of the stage to the point that when your boss pushes you, you tend to feel like you're about to die or something bad is about to happen? And many people have said yes. I said, well, Toastmasters is that bridge for you. We're here to help you develop as a leader, and we're here to help you develop as a communicator. I did not say to them, we're here to help you as a public speaker. That will always come after. And once you start with that, then you get into personal stories. You get into your personal story of why you joined Toastmaster. Sometimes your personal story can help somebody to sympathize in, okay, I was there also. I know how it feels. And now hearing from somebody saying it and kind of feeling the same way, this is why this encourage you. This encourage them to join because what? They're hearing realistic testimonies. And if you ever, and this is why it's so good, when you hear your division or your district say to you to be a part of the why I'm a Toastmaster, because it's not because they're putting on a show, it's because they want to reach real persons with your real testimonies to say, I joined Toastmasters because the program works. They want real testimonies to say the reasons why you joined. I'm an executive director. I joined because I wanted to be a better leader. So things like these help personal experience. As I said, the challenges that District 81 had, and my division had it also. Why persons join Toastmasters? With these short testimonies, you are fueling people to join and giving them a purpose also wanting to join because they hear real life testimonies. I don't know what DTM current has to add to that, but that's my 2 cents.
I do agree with you, but I'd also add,
All
fine,
right,
you
then.
asked them to join, but something made them take up that $80 or however much and send and pay. So yes, you ask them to join, but there must be something that struck a note why you got them to join. So you then have to show them that having joined, even if it's to help you out because you needed a member, what is the value proposition? WIIFM. What's in it for me? What can Toastmasters do for them? Because if you don't tell them that, very soon there's going to be another use for that money. And
Mm-hmm.
we need to constantly help our members to see the value. And the reason why you join Toastmasters is not necessarily the reason why you're going to stay. The reason why I joined Toastmasters is not the reason why I'm still here 20 years later. If it was, it would mean that I hadn't grown. But there are still things
Mm-hmm.
that I see that make it worthwhile for me to remain a member. And I'm still growing and evolving. So at whatever stage, you have to make it personal for them. You have to share your story. And
Mm-hmm.
mentors need to be vulnerable. It cannot be, yes, I agree. It cannot be that I'm the greatest speaker. I'm the greatest speaker. I'm in Toastmasters and I'm a great speaker. We might intimidate them. You've got to tell them, you've got to be vulnerable, you've got to tell them where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to tell them that when you were convinced to join, your knees were knocking. You had how many hums and hearts and ers? Or worse, sometimes you didn't even have
Yeah,
those
that's true.
because no sound was coming out of your mouth. That's what you need
Oh,
to, you
yeah.
need to be honest. Sometimes I wish that
Yes,
hums and hearts and
can't
ers
lie.
would have come out. But it's true. That's
Yeah,
what people
that's
relate
true.
to. You have to be vulnerable and you have to come down to
Yeah,
their level so they can
but not all
see.
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
yeah.
That
So
is
that
so
they can
true.
see, okay, she was there, he was there. I can do it too. And these people will work with me. That's what we need. So, ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen, thank you for being a wonderful audience. And as we close,
Mm-hmm.
remember, you're
So,
mentoring,
mm-hmm.
you're not managing, you're building up, you're empowering so that your mentees can walk, even if it means that they're going to walk away from you. Over to you, Tyreek.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Karen, our host. Thank you to all our amazing viewers on Facebook and YouTube for joining us tonight for Speak to Inspire. Your presence made this conversation on mentor or manager even meaningful, and we hope tonight's discussion give you a fresh insight into leadership, guidance, and the power of relationship that shapes growth. Whether you're a mentor, a manager, or both, remember your influence can transform lives. So until next time, stay inspired, speak with intention, remember your why, remember why you continue, and remember why you want others to be a part of you. And remember, never stop learning. Your influence can transform lives. So until next time, stay inspired, speak with intention, and never stop learning. Good night, and thank you from both myself and distinguished Toastmaster Karen. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Bye. All right. Yes, 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 yes.